Well, we can cross now live to Beirut to speak to Cyril Bassil of the humanitarian agency Care International. Mr. Bassil, thanks so much for your time. Perhaps, we could start with getting an idea of what is the latest you're hearing about the situation in Beirut. We understand that there's been a number of bombardments once again to the south of the Lebanese capital.
Yes, exactly. So last evening was a very scary night. I think all of us living in Beirut and across Lebanon got close to no sleep because of the sounds of the bombardments and because of the anxiety and the fear of any one of us losing their lives. And so it was a very difficult night. And as CARE, we're looking to continue to support the communities that we work with. Among our services is psychological aid. And so we will continue to offer that because it is a huge need.
Indeed, as you say, the ongoing stress of it and, people being told to evacuate, but there isn't really anywhere to go, is there?
The shelters are overcrowded, and so we have reached a point where there are more than 1 million people who have left their homes. There are more than 200,000 people in shelters, but at the same time, you can imagine that the 800,000 left are walking in the street, not knowing where to go, trying to find shelter. It has been raining for the last 2 days, and so people have been sleeping in the street under the rain. And when I say people, I mean children, pregnant women, the elderly, entire families just completely in despair.
And when it comes to even the logistics like clean water, electricity, food, where do things stand?
This is a huge escalation that has started since last Monday. And so CARE, for instance, has been taking its role with other international organizations in close coordination with the government to distribute hot meals, to distribute hygiene kits, and to distribute all sorts of basic needs. But the demand remains huge. And so we are in a humanitarian crisis. The demand is absolutely enormous. And so the more support we can get, the more people can mobilize, the better we can serve our communities.
Now, you said up to 1 million people displaced. So is that 1 million people not being able to go to work, kids not being able to go to school?
More or less, the figures are changing every other minute for the worse. They are getting more dramatic. And so, as you said, the school year has started, but there are no kids in schools. Many people need to continue their lives, need to go to work, but with all those limitations, in a country that has been going through a multifaceted crisis for the last 5 years, makes everyone more vulnerable at all levels.
And I believe tens of thousands of people are actually getting out of Lebanon and crossing over the border into Syria, which isn't exactly a safe zone.
I think these are times where people are looking for any solution, that works for them. And CARE, as a humanitarian organization, our focus is really to focus on working with the internally displaced people, making sure that we can mobilize as much support and close coordination with the other stakeholders.
Now, we have seen the situation in Gaza get increasingly worse over the last year. What started there as a limited incursion by Israeli forces is still going on. Do you fear the same for Lebanon?
In terms of Lebanon, I think we really commit to looking to the realities on the ground. As a humanitarian organization, our focus is always on neutrality. And so our focus is on the internally displaced people and helping the people in Lebanon. Because as you said earlier, there are hundreds of thousands of people who are leaving their houses overnight or in a split of a second in the Bekaa in South Lebanon or in the Beirut suburbs. You're looking for shelter. So our focus remains on working with them.
Okay, Cyril Bassil, hoping you get some rest soon, but thanks indeed for your time. Cyril Bassil there of Care International, based in Beirut, explaining how little sleep people are currently getting due to those ongoing bombardments.